gonna have to move the camera a little bit more. Remove myself. Also, I'm gonna get my head with earpods. Chinchilla has returned back into its little cage. So right now I am hoping that the mic gets captured like this. Let's see. So it should be better now. We are going to say, oh my god, hi Mr. WRD Marine. Yeah, feel free. I kind of like, there's a lag just getting my other stream going, so yeah, please subscribe if you are there. No, you just dipped out. Okay, whatever. Alright, the next thing. Thank you, WRD2 Maine. I said Marine, but it's actually Maine. Alright, so we're gonna just continue on. I'm currently reading, I'm gonna restart actually. So I only got to page 2. And yeah, there was only one other viewer, but okay. Actually, no, there's many people dipping in and out, so it's whatever. We're gonna continue on. Okay. Siddhartha saw a group of monkeys in the depths of the forest, moving about high in the branches, and heard their wild, eager cries. Siddhartha saw a ram follow a sheep and mate. In a lake of rushes he saw the pike making chase in evening hunger. Swarms of young fishes, fluttering and glistening, moved aimlessly away from it. Strength and desire were reflected in the swiftly moving whirls of water, followed by the raging pursuer. All this had been, and he had never seen it. He was never present. Now he was present and belonged to it. Through his eyes he saw light and shadows. Through his mind he was aware of the moon and stars. On the way, Siddhartha remembered all that he had experienced in the garden of Jetavana, the teachings that he had heard there from the Holy Buddha, the parting from Govinda, and the conversation with the illustrious one. He remembered each word that he had said to the illustrious one, and he was astonished that he had said things which he did not then really know. What he had said to the Buddha and the Buddha's wisdom and secret was not teachable, that it was expressible and incommunicable, and that he had once experienced in an hour of enlightenment was just what he had now set off to experience. What he was now beginning to in an hour of enlightenment was just what he had now set off to experience, what he was now beginning to experience. He must gain experience himself. He had known for a long time that his self was Atman, of the same eternal nature as Brahman, but he had never really found his self, because he had wanted to trap it in the net of thoughts. The body was certainly not the self, nor the play of senses, nor thought, nor understanding, nor acquired wisdom or art with which to draw conclusions from. Already existing thoughts to spin new thoughts. No, this world of thought was still on his side, and it led to no goal when one destroyed the senses of the incidental self, but fed it with thoughts and a rumination. But though both thoughts and the senses were fine things, beyond both of them, neither to despise nor overrate either of them. but to listen attentively to both voices. He would only strive after whatever the inward voice commanded him, not tarry anywhere. Thank you for the like. But where the voice advised him. Why did Gautama once sit beneath the Bo tree in his greatest hour when he received enlightenment? He had heard a voice in his own heart, which commanded him to seek rest under this tree, and he had not taken recourse to mortification of the flesh, sacrifices, bathings or prayers, eating or drinking, sleeping or dreaming. He had listened to the voice, to obey no other external command, only the voice, to be prepared. That was good, that was necessary. Oh, thank you for the 2 other links. Nothing else was necessary. During the night, as he slept, oh hey, oh my god, hey Real Istro, what's up? Sorry I'm interrupting the chat. We did just finish a paragraph, so I don't mind. I'm just reading Siddhartha. Let me put it up to this camera. I hope you're doing well. I'm up, so trying to get my readings in. Where was that? Okay. During the night, as he slept in a ferryman's straw hut, Siddhartha had a dream. He dreamt that Govinda stood before him in the yellow robe of the ascetic, and that's Buddha, by the way, when you hear the word Govinda. Govinda looked sad and asked him, "Why did you leave me?" Thereupon he embraced Govinda, put his arm around him, and as he drew him to his breast and kissed him, he was Govinda no longer, but a woman, and out of the woman's gown emerged a full breast. Siddhartha lay there and drank. Sweet and strong tasted the milk from his breast. It tasted of woman and man, of sun and forest, of animal and flower, of every fruit, of every pleasure. It was intoxicating. When Siddhartha awoke, the pale river shimmered past the door of the hut, and in the forest the cry of an owl rang out, deep and clear. That's just so funny, the poetic way of saying that he just probably just had an orgasm. Oh, nice. You're trying to stay warm. Are you still in the lab? I'm I keep forgetting, I keep remembering calling you Real Istro, and I'm trying to remember your actual name. Nice. I hope it's pretty, it's probably chill, right? It's oh my god, quality assurance is totally Isaac. Okay, well we can call you Istro. It's yeah, no, it totally is. I have a couple family that do QA. Yeah, my cousin climbed that ladder too. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been gigging now. I actually left so I ended up switching to documentation. Then I'm kind of just trying to figure shit out. I think I mentioned that to you on chat. Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good, surprisingly, in my own little weird paths. I guess I'm still doing intellectual work still with tutoring and whatnot. All right, I'm gonna get back to the reading. So, because we still have other viewers in the other chat. Good morning, Aslan, Psych. Oh fuck yeah, yeah. Same to you. I see your posts online. You're I feel like you could have your own brand of clothing. Honestly, I don't know. You have a sense of style and creative voice. So, anyways, I'm gonna get back to the next paragraph. As the day began, Siddhartha asked his host, the ferryman to take him across the river. The ferryman took him across on his bamboo raft. The broad sheet of water glimmered pink in the light of the morning. "It is a beautiful river," he said to his companion. "Yes," said the ferryman, "it is a very beautiful river. I love it above everything. I have often listened to it, gazed at it, and always learned something from it. One can learn much from a river." "Thank you, good man," said Siddhartha as he landed on the other side. "I am afraid that I have no gift to give you, nor any payment. I am homeless, a Brahmin's son, and a samana." "I could see that," said the ferryman, "and I do not accept any payment or gift from you. You will give it to me some other time." "Do you think so?" said Siddhartha merrily. "Certainly, I have learned that from the river too. Everything comes back. You too, Samana, will come back. Now farewell, may your friendship be my payment. May you think of me when you sacrifice to the gods." Smiling, they parted from each other. Siddhartha was pleased at the ferryman's friendliness. "He is like Govinda," he thought, smiling. "All whom I meet on the way are like Govinda." So that's like the Buddha, that's the term. "All are grateful, although they themselves deserve thanks. All are subservient." Oh yeah, I definitely want to start. Oh yeah, sounds good. Like I'm kind of just so far just been reading tarot. My chinchilla made an appearance several times. He's back in his cage though now, so yeah. Hope to catch you back too. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, definitely find this stuff fun. Didn't dress up today, but sometimes I do. Sometimes in the past like 2 years. So. I hope you have a good night at work. By the way, all is like Govinda, he thought, smiling. All whom I meet on the way are like Govinda. All are grateful, although they themselves deserve thanks. All are subservient. All wish to be my friend. Oh yeah, by the way, there's before you leave, there's Godfrey is coming to Brookfield February 2nd. I forgot. I totally remind me to. So like, if you want to come see, if you want to go out there together, I don't know your work schedule, but I know like last year, like we thought about kind of catching that together. I would totally love to see a comedy show. What was like gonna make it out to some of the shows around here. Yeah, I'll like DM you. Okay. All are subservient. All wish to be my friend, to obey and to think little. People are children. At midday he passed through a village. Children danced about in the lane in front of the clay huts. They played with pumpkin stones and mussels. They shouted and wrestled with each other, but ran away timidly when the strange samana appeared. At the end of the village, the path went alongside a brook, and at the edge of a brook, a young woman was kneeling and washing clothes. Ooh, I wonder who he's gonna meet. Yes, hashtag comedy. I hope I get joked about on stage. I hope I get called out. That's always the goal. Oh my god, one of his it was like a German comic that was friends with him, followed me online, and like he's been like asking to meet up and everything, and I'm like, does this person do this with like everyone? I'm just like, wow, like this must be what it's like to have like reach across the world. You just like can like ask anyone out. It's so wild and interesting. I don't know. When Siddhartha greeted her, she raised her head, looked at him with a smile so that he could see the whites of her eyes shining. He called across a benediction, as is his customary among travelers, and asked how far the road still was to the large town. Thereupon she stood up and came towards him, her moist lips gleaming attractively. In her young face, she exchanged light remarks with him, asked him if he had yet eaten, and whether it was true that the Samanas alone, slept alone in the forest at night, and were not allowed to have any women with them. She then placed her left foot on his right and made a gesture, such as a woman makes when she invites a man to that kind of enjoyment of love, which the holy books call ascending that tree. I don't know if anyone's watching. Ascending that tree. Siddhartha felt his blood kindle, and as he recognized his dream again at that moment, he stooped a little towards the woman and kissed the brown tip of her breast. Looking up, he saw her face smiling, full of desire, and half-closed eyes pleading with longing. Siddhartha also felt the longing, L, and the stir of sex. I don't know if I can say that word online, but I'll spell it out, in him. But as he had never yet touched a woman, he hesitated a moment, threw his hands were ready to seize her. At that moment he heard his inward voice, and the voice said, "No." Then all the magic disappeared from the young woman's smiling face. He saw nothing but the ardent glance of a passionate young woman. Gently he stroked her cheek and quickly disappeared from the disappointed woman into the bamboo wood. Before evening of that day, he reached a large town, and he was glad, because he had a desire to be with people. He had lived in the woods for a long time, and the ferryman's straw hut, in which he had slept the previous night. It was the first roof he had over him for a long time. Outside the town, by a beautiful unfenced grove, the wanderer met a small train of men and women servants loaded with baskets. In the middle, in an ornamented sedan chair carried by 4 people, sat a woman, the mistress, on red cushions beneath a colored awning. Siddhartha stood still at the entrance to the grove and watched the procession. The men servants, the maids, and the baskets. He looked at the sedan chair and the lady in it. Beneath heaped up black hair, he saw a bright, very sweet, very clever face, a bright red mouth like a freshly cut fig, artful eyebrows painted in a high arch, dark eyes, clever and observant, a clear, slender neck above her green and gold gown. The woman's hands were firm and smooth, long and slender, with broad gold bangles on her wrists. Siddhartha saw how beautiful she was, and his heart rejoiced. He bowed low as the sedan chair passed close by him, raising himself again, gazed at the bright, fair face, and for a moment into the clever, arched eyes, and inhaled the fragrance of a perfume which he did not recognize. For a moment the beautiful woman nodded and smiled, then disappeared into the grove, followed by her servants. And so, thought Siddhartha, I enter this town under a lucky star. He felt the urge to enter the grove. Immediately, but he thought it over, for it just occurred to him how the men servants and maids had looked at him at the entrance, so scornfully, so distrustfully, so dismissing in their glance. I am still a samana, he thought, still an ascetic and a beggar. I cannot remain one. I cannot enter the grove like this, he laughed. He inquired from the first people that he met about the grove and the woman's name, and learned that it was the grove of KAMALA, the well-known courtesan. and that besides the grove she owned a house in the town. Then he entered the town. He had only one goal, pursuing it. He surveyed the town, wandering about in the maze of streets, stood still in places, and rested on the stone steps to the river. Towards the evening he made friends with a barber's assistant, whom he had seen working in the shade of an arch. He found him again at prayer in the temple of Vishnu, where he related to him stories about Vishnu and Lakshmi. During the night he slept among the boats on the river. Early in the morning, before the first customers arrived in the shop, he had his beard shaved off by the barber's assistant. He also had his hair combed and rubbed with fine oil. Then he went to bathe in the river. When the beautiful Kamala was approaching her grove late in the afternoon in her sedan chair, Siddhartha was at the entrance. He bowed and received the courtesan's greetings. He beckoned the servant, who was in the last possession, and asked him to announce to his mistress that a young Brahmin desired to speak to her. And remember, Siddhartha was born to a Brahmin, the highest caste of Indians. After a time, the servant returned, asked Siddhartha to follow him, conducted him silently into a pavilion where Kamala lay on a couch, and left him. "Did you not stand outside yesterday and greet me?" asked Kamala. "Yes, indeed, I saw you yesterday and greeted you. But did you not have a beard and long hair yesterday, and dust in your hair?" "You have observed well. You have seen everything. You have seen Siddhartha, the Brahmin's son, who left his home in order to become a samana, and who was a samana for 3 years. Now, however, I have left that path and have come to this town, and the first person I met before I reached this town was you. I have come here to tell you, O Kamala, that you are the first woman to whom Siddhartha has spoken without lowered eyes. Never again will I lower my eyes where I meet a beautiful woman." Kamala smiled and played with her fan made of peacock feathers and asked, "Is that all that Siddhartha has come to tell me?" "I have come to tell you this and to thank you because you are so beautiful. And if it does not displease you, Kamala, I would like to ask you to become my friend and teacher, for I do not know anything of the art of which you are mistress." Thereupon Kamala laughed aloud. "It has never been my experience that a samana from the woods would come to me, a desire to learn from me. Never has a samana with long hair and an old torn loincloth come to me. Many young men have come to me, including Brahmin's son, but they come to me in fine clothes, fine shoes. There is a scent in their hair and money in their purses. That is how these young men come to me, O Samana." Siddhartha said, "I am already beginning to learn from you. I already learned something yesterday. Already I've got rid of my beard. I've combed and oiled my hair. There is not much more that is lacking. Most excellent lady, fine clothes, fine shoes, and money in my purse." Siddhartha has undertaken to achieve more difficult things than these trifles and has attained them. Why should I not attain what I decided to undertake yesterday? To be your friend and to learn the pleasures of love from you. You will find me an apt pupil, Kamala. I have learned more difficult things than what you have to teach me. So Siddhartha is not good enough for you as he is, with oil in his hair, but without clothes, without shoes, and without money." Kamala laughed and said, No, it's not yet good enough. You must have clothes. Fine clothes and shoes, fine shoes, and plenty of money in his purse, and presents for Kamala. Do you know now, Samana from the woods? Do you understand? I understand very well, cried Siddhartha. How could I fail to understand when it comes from such a mouth? Your mouth is like a freshly cut fig, Kamala. My lips are also red and fresh and will fit yours very well. You will see. But tell me, fair Kamala, are you not at all afraid of the Samana from the forest who has come to learn about love? Why should I be afraid of a Samana, a stupid Samana from the forest who comes from the jackals and does not know anything about women? Oh, the Samana is strong and afraid of nothing. He could force you for I married him. He could rob you. He could hurt you. No, Samana, I'm not afraid. As a Samana or a Brahmin ever feared that someone could come and strike him and rob him of his knowledge, of his piety, of his power for death of not thought? No, because they belong to himself, and he can only give of them what he wishes, and if he wishes. That is exactly how it is with Kamala, with the pleasures of love. Fair and red are Kamala's lips, but try to kiss them against Kamala's will, and one drop of sweetness will you obtain from them. Although they know well how to give sweetness, you are an apt pupil, Siddhartha. So learn also this. One can beg, buy, be presented with, and find love in the streets, but it can never be stolen. You have misunderstood. Yes, it would be a pity if a young, fine man like you misunderstood. Siddhartha bowed and smiled. You are right, Kamala. It would be a pity. It would be a very great pity. No, no drops of sweetness must be lost from your lips, nor from mine. So Siddhartha will come again when he has what he is lacking in, clothes, shoes, money. But tell me, fair Kamala, can you not give me a little advice? Advice? Why not? Are not willing to give advice to a poor, ignorant Samana who comes from the jackals in the forest? Dear Kamala, where can I go in order to obtain these 3 things as quickly as possible? My friend, many people want to know that. You must do what you have learned and obtain money, clothes, and shoes for it. A poor man cannot obtain money otherwise. I can think, I can wait, I can fast. Nothing else. Nothing. Oh yes, suppose I can compose poetry. Will you give me a kiss for a poem? I will do so if your poem pleases me. What is it called? After thinking a moment, Siddhartha recited this verse. Into her grove went the fair Kamala. At the entrance to the grove stood the brown Samana. As he saw the lotus flower, deeply he bowed, smiling, acknowledged Kamala. Better thought the young Samana to make sacrifices to the fair Kamala than to offer sacrifices to the gods. Kamala clapped her hands loudly so that the golden bangles tinkled. Your poetry is very good, brown Samana, and truly there is nothing to lose if I can give you a kiss for it. She drew him to her with our eyes. He put his face against hers, placed his lips against hers, which were like freshly cut fig. Kamala kissed him deeply, and to Siddhartha's great astonishment, "Hi, Alapar, good? How's it going? Thanks for the follow." Alright, I'm gonna continue. Kamala kissed him deeply, and to Siddhartha's great astonishment, he felt how much she taught him, how clever she was, how she mastered him, repulsed him, lured him, And now, after this long kiss, a long series of other kisses, all different, awaited him. He stood still, breathing deeply. That moment, he was like a child, astonished at the fullness of knowledge and learning which unfolded itself before his eyes. So yes, I am Indian. I am not very presentable today, but I am still my natural self. Ooh, chinchilla sighting. Chinchilla Chewy has come out. There he is. Fortunately, on my YouTube stream, because it's vertical, you might not be able to see it. But are you Indian? Currently reading Siddhartha. Alright, so they just kissed, and now your poetry is very good, said Kamala. If I were rich, I would give you money for it. But it will be hard for you to earn money as much as you want with poetry, for you will need much money if you want to be Kamala's friend. How you can kiss Kamala? I keep going back and forth, Kamala or Kamala. I think it's Kamala. Oh, you have neighbors? Yes, indeed. That is why I am not lacking clothes, shoes, and bangles, and all sorts of things. What are you going to do? Cannot you do anything else besides think, fast, and compose poetry? I also know the sacrificial songs, said Siddhartha, but I will not sing them any more. I also know incantations, but I will not pronounce them anymore. I have read the scriptures. Wait, you can read and write? Interrupted Kamala. Certainly I can. Many people can do that. Not most people. I cannot. It is very good that you know how to read and write. Very good. You might even need the incantations. At that moment, a servant entered and whispered something in his mistress' ear. You didn't get my point. At that moment, a servant entered and whispered something in his mistress' ears. I have a visitor, said Kamala. Hurry and disappear, Siddhartha. Nobody must see you here. I will see you again tomorrow. However, she ordered the servant to give the holy Brahmin a white gown. Without quite knowing what was happening, Siddhartha was led away by the servant, conducted by a surreptitious route to a garden house, presented with a gown, led into the thicket, and expressly instructed to leave the grove unseen as quickly as possible. Contentedly, he did what he was told. Accustomed to the forest, he made his way silently out of the grove and over the hedge. Contentedly, he returned to the town, carrying his rolled-up gown under his arm. He stood at the door of an inn where travelers met, silently begged for food, and silently accepted a piece of rice cake. Perhaps tomorrow, he thought, I will not need to beg for food. He was suddenly overwhelmed with a feeling of pride. He was a samana no longer. He was no longer fitting that he could beg. He gave the rice cake to a dog and remained without food. The life that is lived here is simple, thought Siddhartha. It has no difficulties. Everything was difficult, irksome, and easily hopeless when I was a samana. Now everything is easy as instruction and kissing, which Kamala gives. I require clothes and money, that is all. These are easy goals which do not disturb one's sleep. He had long since inquired about Kamala's house and called there the next day. Things are going well, she called across to him. Kamaswami accepts you to call on him. He is the richest merchant in the town. If you please him, he will take you into his service. Be clever, Brown Samana. I had heard your name mentioned to him through others. Be friendly towards him. He is very powerful, but do not be too modest. I do not want you to be his servant, but his equal. Otherwise, I shall not be pleased with you. Kamaswami is beginning to grow old and indolent. If you please him, he will place great confidence in you. Siddhartha. Oh, hello. Okay. Hi, I think that's spam, but hi to anyone still watching. Siddhartha thanked her and laughed, and when she learned that he had not eaten that day nor the previous day, she ordered bread and fruit brought to him and attended him. You have been lucky, she said to him on parting. One door after the other is being opened to you. How does that come about? Have you a charm? Siddhartha said, Yesterday I told you I knew how to think, to wait, to fast, but you did not consider these useful. But you will see that they are very useful, Kamala. You will see that the stupid samanas in the forest learn and know many useful things. The day before yesterday, I was still an unkempt beggar. Yesterday, I already kissed Kamala, and soon I will be a merchant and have money and all those things you value. Wow. Oh my god. Wow, what a powerful reading. Very much like in my head and in my mind, it's like very like what you think of manifesting to be. The truest essence, even like Joseph Murphy and Neville Gardner's reading. Getting control of your mind and your body to the point that you are so adhered to your goal. And right, Siddhartha now has a goal of capturing the love or just being a friend and physical love of Kamala, and his practice as a samana, being able to fast for days on end, having the will of an ox, having the strength of steel, will lead him now to opportunities, like a pendulum of goodwill, where he will end up becoming a merchant already, because he was already a successful meditating, ascetic. He already, without even realizing his dedication to his craft, with whatever it is that we do, the fact that he had success in one thing is going to translate to the other, because he was already dedicated. And to me, it's like, it's so powerful. Like, he, like Siddhartha, rejected everything. He was brought into that life as a Brahmin, the highest class in the caste, and he sought out knowledge to find the true purpose of desire and renouncing it, all of it, right? And then now, like, embracing his desires. I'm so curious to see what his next the following chapters. I always forget the Kamala chapter. I always forget that there is literally like him experiencing, a little bit of like erotic love kind of thing. I hope you all enjoyed the reading. It is about getting close to be 2 a.m. I should go to bed because I do have to be up early. Not super early, but yeah. I'm sorry if I look a little crusty today, but I hope you like my shirt. If anyone saw the chinchillas, for the chinchillas, subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do. We'll be doing more of the readings to finish part 2. Always, I find these chapters like super, enlightening. I do have a lot of books in my rotation that I am currently reading, but I kind of want to just read stuff that is educative, that is enlightening. Plus, some of those like nonfiction books are a little bit harder to get through by myself. So it's kind of nice if I can read them out loud to others. I kind of like thinking about, I don't want to read books that would take money away from an author, but this book is like has been around for a long time, and I like to stop and talk to comment. Okay, have a good night, anyone, or that's still alive, and yeah, if you are on your manifestation journey like I am, Siddhartha is a great book to go through. We read Joseph Murphy's book before this, and yeah, I keep saying, and yeah, the point of desire is to not let it consume you, but to be like a compass. So, I'm excited to read more. Good night, bye.